Let's start with our first news. Eddie Alvarez believes Justin Gaethje has a real chance to shock the world and defeat Ilia in a potential blockbuster fight. Eddie, who fought Justin back in 2017 and stopped him via third-round TKO, explained why so many fans are making a mistake by completely writing Justin off. Speaking in a recent interview, Eddie admitted this matchup could honestly go either way. According to Eddie, he recently watched a clip of Ilia's brother breaking down exactly how to beat Justin, and he was stunned by how accurate the analysis was. Eddie said that during his own training camp against Justin, he spent countless hours trying to figure out how to handle the constant pressure and violent pocket exchanges Justin forces on his opponents. He explained that Justin drags fighters into absolute chaos, and surviving those moments is one of the toughest challenges in MMA. However, Eddie also pointed out one major weakness Justin cannot afford to show against Ilia. He said Justin sometimes loses sight of his opponent during exchanges and shells up too hard under pressure. Eddie warned that this would be disastrous against someone as technically sharp as Ilia. He praised Ilia's posture, balance, and ability to stay calm while throwing combinations, saying Ilia almost never loses visual focus during striking exchanges. Eddie believes Justin cannot fight cautiously in this matchup. He said Justin has to fully commit and fire back the moment Ilia attacks. In his opinion, both men will need to take huge risks if they want to score a knockout. Eddie made it clear that Justin cannot rely on movement alone or simply try to avoid exchanges because Ilia will continue walking him down. One of the biggest keys, according to Eddie, is Justin bringing back his devastating calf kicks. He explained that Ilia's boxing-heavy stance leaves him front foot heavy, and repeated leg attacks could completely change the fight. Eddie believes those crushing kicks could slow Ilia down and turn the entire matchup into a war nobody expects. Move on to another news. Sean Strickland has officially shut down the idea of giving Khamzat an immediate rematch after their recent title fight, and the middleweight champion did not hold back at all while explaining his stance. Right after Khamzat lost the belt, Dana White revealed that Khamzat was already thinking about leaving the middleweight division entirely and moving up to light heavyweight. At the time, it sounded like Khamzat was completely finished with the 185-pound division and was already focused on chasing bigger opportunities at 205. But apparently, those plans changed very quickly. Less than a week later, reports started circulating that Khamzat had completely reversed course and was now fully obsessed with getting another shot at Sean Strickland. According to people close to his camp, the rematch is now the only fight Khamzat wants. In fact, it's reportedly the only matchup he is currently willing to accept. The problem is Sean Strickland wants absolutely nothing to do with an immediate rematch. During a recent interview, Sean completely dismissed the idea and made it crystal clear that he still believes UFC rankings should actually matter. Sean explained that fighters should not be able to instantly skip the line after losing, especially when there are other contenders waiting for their opportunity. He admitted that if the first fight had ended in a controversial split decision, then maybe a rematch would have made sense. But in his eyes, that is not the situation here. Sean then took things even further with some brutally direct comments aimed at Khamzat's request. He said he hopes the UFC tells Khamzat to basically forget about the rematch entirely because, according to Sean, other contenders deserve the opportunity more. Sean also hinted at who could become his next opponent instead. While discussing the rankings, he mentioned Nasruddin and suggested that if the UFC believes that is the correct fight based on the division rankings, then he is more than willing to accept it immediately. There is also another major issue surrounding Sean's future. After UFC 328, Sean revealed that he suffered a serious shoulder injury during fight week, and things only became worse once the fight actually happened. Because of the injury, there is now major uncertainty surrounding his return timeline. Several reports are already suggesting the champion could end up sidelined for close to 10 months while recovering. That situation makes Khamzat's hopes for an immediate title shot even more complicated, especially with Sean making it very clear that he believes contenders should earn their opportunities the right way through the ranking system. Move on to another news. Alexander Volkanovski recently reacted live to Sean Strickland defeating Khamzat, and his response during the fight was absolutely priceless. Volkanovski was watching the matchup alongside the Korean Zombie, and throughout the fight, both men were constantly breaking down the action round by round while trying to predict how things would play out. At the beginning of the fight, Volkanovski already had a feeling Sean might actually pull it off. While discussing the matchup, He confidently said he believed Sean was going to win and admitted he would be very surprised if Sean somehow lost the fight. Still, even with that prediction, Volkanovski clearly did not expect the fight to become as competitive and dramatic as it eventually turned out to be. As the rounds continued, Volkanovski started analyzing Sean's style in real time. He explained that Sean's pressure and awkward striking were effective, but he initially thought it would not be enough to seriously hurt Khamzat or stop him. In Volkanovski's mind, the biggest factor was Khamzat's wrestling and control. Time. He believed Khamzat would probably build too many rounds early and create a lead on the scorecards that Sean simply would not be able to overcome later in the fight. That was the exact reason Volkanovski originally struggled to picture Sean winning the decision. However, everything started changing once Khamzat began slowing down much earlier than expected. Volkanovski immediately noticed the shift in momentum and sounded genuinely shocked watching Khamzat fade during the later exchanges. He admitted he thought Khamzat would maybe slow down in the championship rounds, but he never expected the fatigue to appear that early in the fight. As the final scorecards were being read, the tension in the room became intense. Once the announcer revealed the fight was scored 48-47, Volkanovski instantly reacted with surprise. Then, after hearing it was a split decision, both Volkanovski and the Korean Zombie looked completely stunned by the scoring. Volkanovski quickly made it clear that he personally did not believe the fight should have been scored as a split decision, at all. He explained that while Khamzat managed to secure late takedowns in a couple of rounds, Sean had still controlled most of the striking exchanges and was winning large portions of those rounds before the takedowns happened. By the end of the reaction, Volkanovski gave Sean major credit for pulling off another massive upset. He praised Sean's toughness, composure, and ability to once again prove doubters wrong on the biggest stage possible. According to Volkanovski, Sean found a way to do what many people thought was impossible and once again shocked the entire MMA world. Move on to another news. Josh Hokit is once again making headlines after taking some wild shots at both Alex Pereira and Ilia on social media following the recent UFC White House press conference drama. If you missed the original incident, tensions were already high after Hokit reportedly had heated interactions with both champions during the event, and now things have escalated even further online. After the press conference ended, fans noticed that Hokit appeared to be trolling both Alex and Ilia with a series of sarcastic posts. But one particular upload quickly exploded across MMA social media and instantly grabbed everyone's attention. Hokit posted a bizarre edited photo on Instagram, showing Alex Pereira and Ilia lying together in bed while holding their UFC championship belts. In the image, Hokit placed himself sitting near the foot of the bed in a completely over-the-top and intentionally ridiculous pose, clearly designed to mock both fighters publicly. The post immediately started going viral. Fans flooded the comments section reacting to the photo, with many people calling it one of the strangest MMA posts they had seen in a long time. Others thought the entire thing was hilarious and exactly the kind of chaos social media needed after the intense press conference exchanges between the fighters. But Hokit didn't stop there. In the caption of the post, he added even more fuel to the fire by writing, "Shama on everyone's mama, don't care." The caption instantly became a talking point online because many fans interpreted it as another direct jab toward Alex Pereira's famous Chama catchphrase, while also taking aim at Ilia at the same time. The entire situation quickly spread across MMA pages, with fans debating whether Hokit was simply trolling for attention or genuinely trying to stir up future beef with both champions. Some supporters praised him for creating entertaining chaos and refusing to back down from bigger names, while others accused him of clout chasing and trying too hard to stay in the spotlight. Regardless of how fans feel about the situation, the post definitely succeeded in getting the MMA world talking. Within hours, screenshots of the image and caption were circulating everywhere, and reactions continued pouring in from all sides of the community. The drama also comes at a time when tensions around several UFC stars already seem higher than ever, especially after the heated atmosphere surrounding the White House press conference. Hokit clearly understood that emotions were still running hot, and he took full advantage by dropping one of the most outrageous troll posts fans have seen in recent memory. Whether Alex Pereira or Ilia eventually respond remains to be seen. But for now, Hokit has successfully turned himself into one of the most talked about names online after unleashing a completely unhinged social media attack against two of the UFC's biggest stars. Move on to another news. Luke Rockhold has now joined the growing debate surrounding Sean Strickland's victory over Khamzat, and according to Luke, he believes the judges got the decision completely wrong. Speaking during a recent appearance on the Jackson podcast, Rockhold explained in detail why he personally scored the fight in favor of Khamzat and why he believes the wrong man walked away with the championship. Luke started by pointing toward the betting odds surrounding the fight. Since Sean entered the matchup as a massive underdog, Luke suggested that maybe the shock factor of Sean performing better than expected influenced how people viewed the fight in real time. But despite the excitement surrounding Sean's performance, Luke made it clear that he still believes Khamzat did enough to win the decision. According to Luke, the championship rounds were the biggest factor. He argued that Khamzat clearly won both the 4th and 5th rounds because he controlled the pace late in the fight and finished stronger than Sean. Luke explained that true champions take over when the pressure is highest, and in his opinion, that is exactly what Khamzat did during the final rounds of the fight. Rockhold also criticized Sean's jab-heavy approach throughout the matchup. He explained that a jab is supposed to force opponents backward and change the direction of the fight. However, Luke felt Sean was mostly throwing his jab while retreating, rather than using it aggressively to damage Khamzat or truly control the action. Luke admitted Sean landed clean shots at times, but he described many of them as defensive pepper, jabs, rather than impactful strikes that clearly shifted momentum. According to him, Khamzat was the one landing the bigger shots and pushing the pace whenever the fight became competitive. When breaking down the rounds individually, Luke said, "The only clear round he gave Sean was round 2. He described round 3 as extremely close and believed it easily could have gone either way depending on what the judges valued more. But for round 4, Luke felt Khamzat completely took over with pressure, aggression, and harder shots." Rockhold also argued that Khamzat could realistically have won rounds 1, 3, 4, and 5, which is why he seemed genuinely confused by the final decision. Toward the end of his breakdown, Luke even hinted that outside factors may have influenced the scoring. He suggested that because Sean was such a massive betting underdog and a popular personality with fans, there is a chance the judges may have been swayed by the narrative surrounding the fight. Whether fans agree or disagree, Rockhold made one thing very clear. In his eyes, Khamzat deserved to leave that fight with the belt around his waist. Move on to another news. Henry Cejudo is now criticizing the UFC 328 commentary team after breaking down Sean Strickland's fight against Khamzat, and according to Henry, the commentators completely missed one of the most important moments of the entire fight. Speaking on the latest episode of the Pound for Pound podcast, Cejudo explained that he personally scored the fight 3 rounds to 2 in favor of Khamzat. However, he also admitted there was one major turning point that nearly changed everything, and that moment happened during the 2nd round when Sean landed a huge right hand on Khamzat. According to Henry, Sean connected with a beautiful combination, roughly halfway through the round. He described Sean throwing a jab before immediately following it with a clean right hand that visibly rocked Khamzat on the feet. Cejudo believes that shot seriously hurt Khamzat, but he was shocked that the commentary team barely acknowledged it while the fight was happening live. Henry explained that this is exactly where commentators need to improve, because recognizing when a fighter is genuinely hurt can completely change how fans understand a close fight. Henry even joked that Khamzat was on stanky leg after absorbing the shot, meaning he looked unstable and briefly lost his balance. Still, Cejudo gave Khamzat credit for staying composed under pressure and doing a solid job hiding how badly he was hurt in that moment. But according to Henry, Khamzat made one huge mistake immediately afterward. Instead of remaining calm and recovering naturally on the feet, Henry believes Khamzat panicked and instantly shot for a takedown. Cejudo explained that experienced fighters sometimes reveal they are hurt the moment they desperately change levels for a takedown after getting clipped with a big strike. In Henry's opinion, Khamzat would have been smarter to maintain his poker face, stay standing, keep moving, and avoid making it obvious that Sean's punch had affected him. He said once a fighter suddenly changes behavior after getting hit clean, opponents immediately recognize something is wrong and start increasing. Pressure. Cejudo also suggested that Khamzat never fully recovered after taking that right hand. Even though Khamzat remained competitive throughout the fight, Henry believes the damage from that moment continued affecting him during the later rounds, especially when Sean started building momentum with his jab and pressure. At the same time, Henry still felt Khamzat ultimately did enough overall to edge out the decision despite the rough second round. But his biggest frustration remained focused on the broadcast team and their failure to properly identify such a critical moment during the fight. According to Cejudo, commentators play a massive role in shaping how viewers interpret close fights, and missing a huge momentum shift like that can completely change public perception of who actually won the bout. Move on to another news. Bisping is giving Josh Hokit massive praise after his recent performance, and according to the former UFC champion, Hokit may have completely revived excitement in the heavyweight division. Following Hokit's chaotic war against Curtis Blaydes, Bisping explained that the division desperately needed a fresh personality capable of entertaining fans both inside and outside the octagon. Hokit earned huge attention after defeating Curtis Blaydes in an absolute back-and-forth battle that many fans are already calling one of the craziest heavyweight fights in recent memory. The fight went the distance, but Hokit's relentless pressure, aggression, and willingness to leave everything inside the cage impressed a lot of people, especially Bisping. During his breakdown, Bisping admitted that Hokit's personality can sometimes come across as over the top and even cringe at times. He compared him to Colby Covington, saying Hokit brings a similar level of controversy, chaos, and non-stop trash talk to the heavyweight division. But despite that, Bisping made it clear that fans cannot stop paying attention to him. According to Bisping, the biggest difference is that Hokit actually backed everything up once the cage door closed. He explained that before the Curtis Blaydes fight, Hokit was becoming almost more famous for his outrageous online behavior and crazy interviews than for his actual fighting ability. Between the wild sound bites, controversial comments, and viral social media moments, many fans questioned whether the hype was real. But then Hokit went out and delivered a war. Bisping praised Hokit for fighting with heart and proving he was willing to stand in the pocket and trade against one of the toughest heavyweights in the division. He said when a fighter talks as loudly as Hokit does, they absolutely need to perform under pressure, and in Bisping's opinion, Hokit delivered in a huge way. He even joked about Hokit standing on a podium and screaming through a megaphone before the fight, saying the entire personality would become annoying if the fighter could not actually perform. But because Hokit fought so well, Bisping believes fans are now fully invested in his rise. Hokit also reportedly earned 2 massive bonuses for the performance, collecting money for both Fight of the Night and Performance of the Night after the brutal battle. Now things are getting even bigger for the rising heavyweight star. Hokit is already preparing for a quick turnaround fight against Derek Lewis on the massive White House card, and Bisping believes this matchup could completely change the heavyweight division moving forward. He praised Derek Lewis as the legendary knockout king, but admitted Hokit's wrestling, finishing ability, and insane personality make him one of the most entertaining heavyweights in the entire sport right now. According to Bisping, if Hokit manages to defeat Derek Lewis, the UFC could suddenly have a legitimate new heavyweight title contender on its hands.